What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 reasons why macOS is better than Windows 10. And before I start and get a lot of flack, which I will anyways, because any type of video that I upload, I'm going to get flack on. I use multiple operating systems. I don't really have a particular one I use as my primary OS. I switch back and forth. So, getting started with that, I noticed certain things are better with some operating systems versus others, and that's pretty obvious to put. But the first reason is that anytime you try to deal with Windows updates, it's like hell on earth. And the reason why is it updates a lot of the operating system's components, which in return can mess with certain things. If you have a certain motherboard type, if you have a certain graphics card, if you have a certain wireless card, any type of thing, especially with Windows 10 lately, if you deal with a big update, it could mess with the devices. And that is simply not the case with Apple updates. It's very rarely, I have had an issue once in a while with updates from Apple, but it doesn't take, A, it doesn't take too long, and B, it just doesn't cause as much pain and frustration as Windows 10 updates do. And if you say that there is no issue with Windows 10 updates on your machine, that is fantastic. But with my machines, certain updates cause my wireless card to go a little bit haywire. And I've experienced this on other machines, not just one machine. So understand that your case could be different than my case. But my reason is that Apple updates actually work better than Windows updates. That's the first reason why macOS is better than Windows. The second reason why macOS is better than Windows is just pretty much the overall stability. Programs I've had to force quit before. I have had issues with programs. I have had to end processes with programs before, just like any other operating system. However, I will say this, I've had to do it way more on Windows just because of the way it deals with some of the processing. I'm probably demanding a little bit more from it. But on the other hand, I have had less stability issues than I have had with Windows. It's not that they don't exist. Believe me, I've had this thing reboot on me. It's just that they seem to have less problems with stability, including my 2009 Mac. However, having said that, it's when I switched to an SSD. When I was on a hard drive, that was a different story. All right, the third reason why Mac OS is better than Windows. This one's a little bit controversial because everybody has their own favorite video editor. Some people like Premiere. I think I don't like it at all. I like the exclusive apps like Final Cut Pro, which allow me, at least in my opinion, to do what I like to do better and easier than I do with Premiere. Because I've tried Premiere, and while it's gotten better over the years, it's still kind of a pain to use. It takes a little bit of time to learn it, and once you learn it, you do have a lot of options available to you, but Final Cut Pro takes me about, 5 or 10 minutes to learn. If I don't know how to do something, I go on YouTube, I look it up, and it's just less painful than it is with Premiere. I think it's just worth the exclusivity of it. Other than that, I really also appreciate Logic. That's a nice exclusive program, and you can't find these applications on the other operating system. They don't make it for the other operating system, whereas with Windows apps, you can find them on multiple operating systems. So, I mean, that could be a pro/con, but honestly, I think it's more of a pro that Final Cut Pro does what it's supposed to do. It even is able to take advantage of lower-end specs and be able to deliver you something that's worthwhile. People have edited 4K video on a MacBook, and it works apparently decently enough and better than Premiere can render. So they've got that. All right, so that's the third reason. The fourth reason is pretty much the ability to run both at once. I know that's a little bit of a low ball of a reason, but the thing is I could run Windows right on my Mac legally, whereas I couldn't run it on my PC legally. And again, that's obviously because of Apple's rights to the software, but it's a nice feature if you're trying to do everything legally. If you were wanting to do a Hackintosh, that does exist. And you can even illegally run it in a virtual machine. But for legal reasons, I like the fact that I can run Windows on here. The fifth and final reason that I like it is not only just because it's easier on all of those accounts to upgrade and to do anything with. I kind of like it for people who don't know how to use a PC or they're starting fresh. When I taught the iPad classes that I taught, it was really, really easy to teach people how to use the system. And the same goes for macOS. It's if you take a simplicity sake to teaching people how to use it, in my opinion, it's easier. If they've never used a computer before, if they've used Windows or if they've used something else, then it's a little bit more challenging. But in general, I find the operating system very easy to use, and that is different for Windows because there are a lot of things you can configure in Windows, and if you're a power user in Mac, you can actually do some pretty cool stuff. But those are the 5 reasons why I feel personally that macOS is a little bit better than Windows. There are reasons why Windows is better than macOS. I'll be probably doing a video on that later on the top 5 reasons Windows is better. Stay tuned for more content. I will be putting up a how to use macOS videos, speaking of ease of use, pretty soon. But if you want to check out any more of my videos, you can check out my channel. Subscribe if you like. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you dislike this video because you like Windows, that's perfectly fine. I like Windows too. But just know that I use everything. Have a great day, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day. I guess I can't really think right now. Alrighty, take it easy, guys. Bonus 1. Another reason why macOS is better than Windows is because of the ecosystem you have behind it. So you have iPads, you have iPhones, you have other Mac computers in your house, let's say. Your family all uses them. You can share between family members using AirDrop. You can do one thing on your iPad and have it copy over to your Mac. So, for example, you can open up a website on your iPad and copy it over to your Mac. And that's great. So that way I can actually be able to go from one to another. Another cool thing is if you have an iPhone, then you can answer the phone right from any device you want with macOS or iOS. So I think the ecosystem is really important because when you get apps or music or anything like that, for the most part, they can travel with other devices as well. So anyways, rather than having an awkward ending like it was, I hope you guys have a great day, enjoy everything, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down, and take it easy.